The blues has been described as a dignified way for a man to cry. If that's so, many tears have been shed here in Chicago, the home of the blues. Chicago is also home to the biggest blues record label in the world. And as Tanya Francisco reports, Alligator Records is celebrating 50 years of house rockin' music.
On the second floor of this aging Edgewater storefront, in a hot, cramped room, a jam session like no other, featuring Billy Branch, Oscar Wilson, Nick Moss, Little Ed, and Toronzo Cannon, some of Alligator Records' top talent.
I'm an old blues singer.
Old in spirit, but new to Alligator's roster of world-renowned blues artists.
Everybody agreed nobody does it better than Bruce.
Bruce is Bruce Iglauer, founder of Alligator Records, which celebrates 50 years this year.
So I remember that first recording session, May 24th, 1971, like it was a week ago.
Iglauer fell in love with the blues as a young college student on a visit to Chicago in 1966.
And the music seemed so unvarnished, so real, so honest, that it made everything I had listened to in my life until that time seem kind of plastic.
4 years later, he moved to Chicago and became infatuated with Hound Dog Taylor and the House Rockers.
I started a record company specifically to record my favorite band. Recorded them entirely live. No, not even separating the instruments so that they could be mixed later. We mixed it as we went, and they played everything live just like they did at Florence's Lounge on 54th and Shields.
Iglauer would go on to sign some of the biggest names in blues. Coco Taylor, the queen of the blues, Lonnie Brooks, Son Seals, and Shamika Copeland, just to name a few. Billy Branch, who's considered one of the greatest harmonica players, first recorded with Alligator in 1978.
Blues speaks to the human condition because everybody has problems and ups and downs.
Pour the whiskey, bartender.
It's definitely an organic, emotional music.
I mean, we late.
Nick Moss is one of Alligator's newest acts.
This is the music that first made me feel something rather than just hearing it.
Little Ed is one of Alligator's oldest. He met Iglauer 35 years ago when he asked him to be part of a compilation album.
And we're having such a good time. Next thing I know, Bruce came out and said, listen, guys, we've did 30 songs in 3 hours. Let's do an album. Let's make an album. And that's how we got together.
WGN featured Toronzo Cannon in 2016 when he was still working as a CTA bus driver by day and a blues singer by night.
Check it out, y'all. When my baby say.
Today, he's retired and looking forward to touring again, playing his brand of contemporary blues.
It's like old blues with new clothes, kind of, you know, but the same timeless song.
When I was a little girl.
Iglauer, who still works out of the same rundown Edgewater apartment he bought in 1985, credits his staff for much of his company's success, many of whom have been with him for more than 30 years, making Alligator more of a family than a record label.
When I got with Bruce, he kind of took me on his wing, and he treated me like I was his son.
From the very beginning, my relationships with the artists were closer than most record companies have with artists they sign.
Alligator Records is now the biggest independent blues label in the world, with a catalog of 350 albums and a roster of 16 artists. In honor of making it to the mid-century mark, the city of Chicago is recognizing the pioneering blues label for its soul-stirring sound by declaring June 18th Alligator Records Day.
The 50-year thing is a blessing, and I'm so proud to be a part of it.
It's awesome.
Over the years, he recorded some of the greatest living blues artists that ever were.
Of course, Chicago should be put on the map, or should put Alligator on the map for that, because we going 50 years and beyond.
Iglauer is looking forward to recording artists who not only want to sing about loving and losing, but about the human condition, which he says is in need of some emotional healing these days.
I'm so excited to turn people on to this music that moves me so much.
In honor of its 50th anniversary, Alligator Records has released a 3-CD set called Alligator Records 50 Years of Genuine House Rockin' Music. Tanya Francisco, WGN News.